Good morning, fellow human being, fellow messy, beautiful, complicated, perfect, imperfect human being. Hope this video finds you well today, and welcome back, or welcome if it's your first time to the Big Sigh. We're on day 14 today of this challenge to just film from the heart. Letting go of the idea of how good the quality needs to be, or trying to optimize anything for YouTube or anything like that. This is just to film a video a day, no matter what. So that is what's happening. Day 14. Yeah. And I'm noticing quite a lot of anxiety in me at the moment. I feel it in my tummy. And so I think, a really intentional big sigh at the start of this video, as always, will help me out quite a bit. And I hope if you'd like to join me that it can help you too. And as always, the goal when we're doing these big sighs, I just do loads of sighs at the start of this video anyway, to be honest. It seems to be what my body wants to do. But the goal of these sighs is really to, drop all the performance. Be like, okay, fine, I give up. Okay. When I'm doing these things in the morning, when I'm really trying to sigh in the morning, it's kind of like choosing between the frantic mind that wants to plan and that wants to, think of good things to say and all of that kind of stuff, versus just letting it all go and just being like, okay, fine, you can just see me. You can just see what's really going on. I will let you in, and I will talk from that place, even if it's from a place of pain. Let's drop the pretending. Let's drop the performance. There's a lot of pressure to perform, as we talk about a lot on this channel. So let's maybe do a bit more of an intentional sigh here with a nice big in-breath. Hold at the top. And then just drop the shoulders, drop any sense of needing to be anything different from how you are in this exact moment. Whatever thoughts are coming, whatever feelings in the body, whatever state you're in, whatever energy you're in. Can we just surrender to it and allow space for ourselves? I hope you are able to take a pause and slow down, and even if that can just bring a moment of awareness to what's going on. Maybe you're sort of in a rush as you listen to this, and maybe it can, even if you aren't able to pause and take a moment for yourself, maybe it can just be just a little awareness of like, oh, okay, I'm rushing today. I'm in that state right now. That's the state I'm in. But just welcoming whatever state is alive for you right now. What's come up in my mind is an expression that, I've used it's been so effective for me. I've used it a lot recently. I went to a festival and I just kept asking myself, what's the rush? What's the rush? because I've realized more and more how much of a constant state of rushing I've been in, and it's something I talk about on the channel. Yeah, just this constant mode. So just a little reminder to ask yourself, if you are rushing, you may not be, you may be super peaceful and zen. But if you are rushing, just really ask yourself that quite genuinely, like, is there a need to rush right now? Can I slow down? Can I just have trust that my future self will figure it out? And can I live in a state of peace can I exist in a state of peace rather than rushing around all the time in this moment? And it's just small, and the more I do that for myself personally, it's like, the more I bring that into my everyday being, the more it becomes a practice. The squirrels having a great time on the fig tree over there. Oh, or 2 squirrels. Oh, squirrels are so great. Yeah, but like I mentioned, the truth is at the moment I'm feeling quite anxious. And yeah, that's quite strong in my body. It's quite an uncomfortable feeling in my chest. And I it's interesting that it's come up because yesterday, I'm filming day 14, but the first video went out yesterday, right? And it's just interesting what that's brought up in me, I've tried to sort of watch it, and I'm using, like I've said before, I'm using myself as a sort of test dummy to just observe the human experience. And I will be having a unique flavour of it, obviously, but I'm sure a lot of it may prove, relatable, I hope. And just sort of, going through this process of creating a YouTube channel and, just trying to observe myself doing it and seeing what's coming up for me and just sharing all of those things that are coming up that are worth sharing. And what's interesting is that it's been a delight actually to see the video go out, and it's been really exciting. There are these different parts of me. One part is so excited. I feel I got 17 subscribers off my first video and 60 views. And that obviously doesn't sound a lot if you're used to Instagram views or whatever. But this is coming from nothing. And I did post it out to a few people who I thought would enjoy it. But I haven't totally spammed it out to everyone. I've kind of kept it quiet. So it feels relatively organic. 60 views, and I feel like that's quite amazing. That's quite cool. And there's some comments in the comment section that from my friends who I spammed it out, who I shared it with, spammed it out to. I selectively, targetedly shared it. And that was actually really nice. They left comments that were bits that resonated with them, and that makes me think, okay, cool, I'm onto something. However, at the same time, yesterday, because I've started this new YouTube channel and I have no history for the algorithm to feed me my little bubble of stuff. It's interesting what they do is they just serve how to build a YouTube channel videos. Because obviously they imagine it's probably quite an effective strategy for them because they want people to build their YouTube channel. So if you've got no history whatsoever, they just feed you, how to build a YouTube channel. And I did start watching some of those. And I think part of my anxiety that's coming up is noticing a lot of the shoulds or the advice from a lot of these guys. I started watching videos of what to do and what not to do. And I'm doing some of the what to do's. I'm doing quite a lot of them. but there's also quite a lot of what not to do's. And yeah, I think what I also noticed is that I've probably been kidding myself a little bit and not being fully honest about the fact that I actually do want this channel to grow and be quite big. I feel like I'm trying to practice that. Like I don't need this channel to be big or to connect with lots of people, but I do want that. I actually do want that, and I want to be honest and open about that. I do want to reach a lot of people and touch as many people as possible. And I think I will be a little bit deflated if that doesn't happen. I've got a sort of quiet confidence that I have a feeling that it will hopefully resonate with quite a few people. The sort of nature of the things that we're talking about, I feel, are quite universal and relatable, I hope. So, yeah, I got this quiet confidence, but one pattern that I have that has been challenging in the past. I guess there's two elements. There's one element of just imagining, oh, this is great. This is going to be great. And not imagining that I have to really put like research into optimizing. And yeah, and that feeds into my story of being special. And I think that's maybe something I've talked about in a previous video. But one of the dynamics that my beautiful human being has is a real desire to be considered special. And yeah, whilst it's really beautiful desire, and I'm sure I'm not alone. And it really comes from a sense of not being enough and only being lovable if I am special. I think in my childhood, I was lucky to be quite good, quite sort of good hand-eye coordination and like reasonably intelligent, not, super boffin, but like quite smart. So did well and musical and artistic. So I did well in a lot of different fields and I felt special. And I got a lot of feedback for doing special things. A lot of love, what I, at the time thought was love and validation. And so I kind of became hooked, addicted to love seeking through being special. But behind that, really, what that's driven by mainly is fear of not getting love, right? So going out and doing all these things, trying to be special, showing off. I definitely got this this beautiful part of me that just wants to show off and receive that validation and that love, because really underneath that, there's the fear is if I am not special, if I am not doing special things, then I'm not worthy of love. I need to earn love, I need to earn respect. I need to earn in order to even be liked, I need to be special. And that comes from a very young place, obviously. That was me figuring out the world, figuring out people, and figuring out what I needed to survive. But this dynamic, this need to be special, has manifested in quite an interesting way, which hasn't particularly served me very well. I basically have noticed in me this sort of idea that it's like, oh, I'll be really special when I do this. I'm not like other people. That's the thing. It's comparative. It's compares myself to others, but it says, sometimes I watch other people do things and I watch them struggle and fail. And, maybe they're not, I don't know, they're not being musically that skilled, for example, because that's a big part of something that I've identified with as being a musician. That's a choice that I've made. I am a musician. I'm a skilled musician. So when I see people who are less skilled than me, or, people are trying a project and it's not getting much traction, for example, in my head, I'm like, oh, like they're trying really hard, bless them. If I did it, I'd be really special and I would flourish. And that's so dangerous. Right? There's a few dangers to that. One is that when there's someone else in the room who I then deem as more skilled, more special, more, talented, I just deflate. I lose myself entirely. It's an all or nothing dynamic. I'm either the special one or I'm completely unworthy. Oh, it's been so painful. And I still struggle with it, despite having this awareness. I really still struggle with it. I have reasonable talents as a musician. And I've mentioned before, I run a beautiful music community called Full Joy Community. And I love it. But I do feel threatened when other musicians come into the space who are more talented than me. And in some respects, I am facilitating these events and I'm feeling special. My ego is getting that boost, or that story, that pattern in me is like, you're being special again. Great. We're safe. That's the thing. It's about safety in many ways. I'm safe. I'm lovable. But when I perceive someone else to be doing something that's more talented and unique, I feel unsafe. This is interesting. I kind of realize this as I'm talking it through with you. I feel unlovable and I don't feel safe. And my response is to kind of go into my shell and be really deflated. Like, I'm not the special one. And it's painful as well because I watch that dynamic and I desperately want to be the person that is just super loving and accepting of everyone and celebrates everyone's skills and can be grateful for people for putting in so many hours to become so skilled at whatever it is they're doing. And I want to delight in people, and I do a lot of the time as well. I do, but sometimes that puncture just makes, I get punctured and deflated, and just feels really hard to do that when that dynamic comes up. And it's painful then because I'm like, I should be this really loving, like kind, generous, celebratory guy. Why can't I be like everyone else? Everyone else seems to be able to, celebrate others. But I don't know what goes on in other people's minds, in other people's inner worlds. I suspect that I'm not the only one experiencing this as well. So it is interesting. And to bring it back to the YouTube channel, that dynamic is here with the YouTube channel. Definitely. There's I'm thinking like, no, this is going to be really special. This is going to be amazing. And I set expectations. And then when I don't live up to those very special expectations, I then say, well, it's pointless. It's, I shouldn't bother doing this because I've clearly failed here and I'm not special. So I move on to something different to be special in a different area. In some respects, that's kind of what's happened with Full Joy. So this music community that I run, I am taking a break from it at the moment because of various, there's multiple reasons why I'm taking a break. One, my physical health, another, a need to reorganize and to step back and to take a new approach that's more sustainable. But also, I really had a sense of deflation around it and feeling like I wasn't very special. And I've done the classic pattern of mine, which is to quit and to move on to something else. And and consistency, commitment, they've all been really difficult. And that's manifested in so many different ways in my relationships. You know, I've only lasted a year max in a relationship. Before that, pretty much 6 months. And yeah, it's this dynamic of I have to be perfect in order for it to be valid. And I have to be special. I have to be particularly special. And so you can see how on the surface, calling myself special, we're all special. We're all unique. There's only one us in the entire world throughout all of history. There's only this soul. And that is a beautiful, special, sacred thing, you know? But the version of I'm special that I have been using as a survival strategy is I'm the only special one. You know, I'm the only special one. And I cling on to this for safety. And when I don't get a sense that I am the special one, the only special one, then I just collapse. I deflate, as I said. And yeah. And the other dynamic is these expectations I set for myself. So I was saying there are these two parts. The other piece is, I guess I kind of covered it now, but just setting expectations for myself that are like pretty much impossible. Imagining that this YouTube channel, if it doesn't blow up, then I'm just gonna quit. Or I'm gonna struggle if it I'm gonna struggle if it continues to, if it just stays at really low engagement, low views, low subscribership, or whatever. That is going to be a struggle. But something has shifted in me recently, like I've talked about before, in terms of a self-worth, and that seems to be underpinning a lot of this stuff. I feel like I'm going through this process of slowly transitioning from needing love and validation from external sources, from other people, to then slowly shifting towards me being my own source of love and validation and respect and worthiness, you know, feeling deserving of love, feeling, and I notice now and what's come with that, lots of amazing benefits have come with that. It's been a long time of struggle, and now I realize, whoa, this lack of self-worth was really damaging to my health in so many ways and my peace. But what's come with that is commitment. I'm not as fazed about commitment anymore. I feel like even if this doesn't perform so well on the metrics on YouTube or whatever, there is a part of me that just feels really solid in I'm doing this regardless, you know? And I don't really feel like I felt that too much in the past before. It's this sense of I'm doing it for me and I'm prioritizing what this human wants over needing to get the external validation and love. And that's not to say that getting love externally is not a part of a human need, because I think it is. It would be, unless you're like enlightened, we need each other. We're social creatures. We need each other. That's what I believe. And we need support from others. We can't just do it alone. Unless you're like Mr. Super Enlightened and you're living in a cave and you just found the ultimate peace. But that is a very, very tiny percentage of us. Maybe you guys have got a different opinion on that, and please share it in the comments if you do. But that's where I am on that. And I've now gone down this little side quest, and I've forgotten what I was talking about before. And have a sip of tea. Commitment. And that's been a real wonderful thing, you know, with that daring to believe that I'm worthy, you know, daring to let go of the fear. Essentially, it's dropping the fear. And I'm learning more and more. This path of healing is essentially stripping away, letting go of various different fears of mine, you know. That's all it is. And just allowing myself to fully be me, and that to be okay, and to just be less scared of parts of myself. Yeah, that's a big shift. Once the source of love comes from within rather than without, then it's just a lot easier to let go of these behaviors, because a lot of them are like to do with fear around not getting love from outside, from other people, not being liked by other people. So when our source of love comes from within, they naturally sort of start falling away, these fears, and then healing happens, you know, because I think in my human experience, the fear is the root of the problem, you know. Once we can drop the fear, then the fear about the thing, it's kind of like, I think I talked about this yesterday, it's like the fear of, it's not the thought, it's the fear about the thought, or it's not the problem, it's the resistance to the problem, or it's us labeling it as a problem. We can just allow all space for all of the human experience, right? And so as that fear drops away, a lot of my problems drop away, and I heal, and actually my body responds as well. My physical body heals. This is a different body to the body I had, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, where it was constantly in a state of tension, state of anxiety, lots of background sort of energetic tension. And as I drop these fears, the tension just eases, you know, tension that I wasn't aware of before, you know, just sort of bubbling away in the background in my, that I was unconscious to. And yeah, so that self-worth piece I talk about again, it's been huge, you know. But yeah, this YouTube channel, I've also noticed imagining, living. Yeah, like I've mentioned before, I'm Project Freedom is what I'm on now. The train to, you know, financial and time freedom is really what I'm after. And what I'm holding in my mind is van life, you know, moving to van life. I'm doing that classic cliched thing, but essentially I want to be free of so many outgoings. And with that, and with this YouTube channel, there is a part of me that's imagining like it taking off and funding me for, you know, being able to work remotely and do this. And there is like part of me that's really holding that vision in my mind, because I'd love that to become true, because I'm loving doing this. I'm absolutely loving it. Talking to camera and posting and doing the editing. The editing, you know, takes a while and it's more challenging, or takes longer and more effort than I was expecting it to. But as I do more and more of it, I'm sure I will streamline that. And just holding that idea of like, imagine living in a van funding yourself through doing a YouTube channel like this, and running your music events, driving back to London for your music events when you need to, but living out in nature with a community that I'm really aligned with. Like, what a vision that is. But the danger, going back to what I was saying before, is then becoming so attached to that and just imagining that that's going to happen and not taking responsibility for any other options. It's classic me. It's like I would go in for a job interview or something and then just imagine that I've got the job and not bother continuing on the job hunt, which, I mean, it's been a while since I've actually looked for a job like that, like quite a few years. Been quite fortunate with jobs just kind of coming my way. But yeah, it's really funny. And relationships, I notice myself, I get, maybe like in romantic relationships, I start seeing someone for a bit and I'm just like, this person's it, I'm cool. Or yeah, just becoming, I tell you what, being more honest, becoming attached to people who are not available. Whew. I mean, there's a whole video series on that one, probably. It's shocking how in my life, it is quite funny. It does make me laugh. Oh, the number of times I've sort of fallen for people and just bowled over by someone and just think they're amazing, only to find out later that they're in a relationship and they're not available, or they're not available in some way. It's like, God, did I unconsciously know that they were in a relationship? And this pattern is so strong that, yeah, wild, really frustrating. I'm not going to lie. There's been some beautiful people that I'd love to have connected more deeply with, and yeah, in a romantic sense. But yeah, that's a funny old dynamic, that one. Frustrating, but yeah, I feel like things are changing at the moment, which is nice. But yeah, I would just get attached to these people, and here's the part is, because I'm so special, they will break up with their boyfriends and they will start seeing me. It's just a matter of time, just like putting all my eggs in one basket with something that's really someone who's actually unavailable. And maybe that is the whole dynamic of actually underneath it all, I know that they're unavailable and it's safe. If I can convince myself that I'm, there's this person that kind of seems to be attracted to me and who I'm very attracted to, but I don't have to put myself out there. I don't have to show them my full self because they're in a relationship and it's never going to go there. Like, even though I'm kidding myself into imagining that it will, or like just attaching myself to the expectation that it will, being like, oh yeah, she'll do that. That's what's going to happen. Then, yeah, I sort of set myself up for failure and a lack of, yeah, I don't know. I just I'm like, that's it. I don't need to do any of this other stuff. I don't need to open my heart to other people. Be open to other potential options out there. I close off and just stay in this little like safe, but like fundamentally unfulfilling situation. Yeah. So as much as that specialness is on the surface might not seem like a bad thing, it's been really challenging. It's a big part of my dynamic, and that is a big part that I resist in myself and I'm quite scared of in myself. And maybe that helps it to stick around. The more I resist it, the more fear I have around it. And maybe there's a part of me that I think the work that I'm trying to do at the moment around it is just to allow myself to feel special, or to allow that dynamic within me without like chastising myself for it. Because again, that's what I do as well. It's like, oh, you're being arrogant again. I tie it to this arrogance. You're being arrogant. You're trying to be better than other people. You're not being very loving and accepting of others. And then I do things because I have this resistance, I then do things that are performative in a way. Like, maybe the truth is sometimes I do want to be the guy. I do want to step in and shine a bit or be in the spotlight or whatever it is, right? But I feel like I shouldn't be that guy. I feel like I should be the kind, loving, not prioritizing myself, making sure that everyone's involved and everyone's engaged. I feel like I should do that. But then I'm basically in denial of this desire to want to be, the special one, I guess. And there is so much healing as well in stepping into the light without shame, without fear, and fully just fucking owning stuff, like, I'm going to shine and this is me. And this is full joy. That's what full joy is all about. And it's so healing, and that's been amazing. I guess that's kind of what I'm talking about, this phase of like giving myself permission. I've been so scared to like, be the one because of this whole special dynamic. I've got the specialness, which is challenging, and it comes with all those things that I've been talking about, but also the resistance to it and the fear of other people perceiving me as like arrogant or thinking that I'm above my station or special. That's interesting. The real and with the full joy stuff, I really now, I mean, I've gone through my whole journey and I've touched on it in the previous videos, but maybe I can go into it in more depth at some point. Just about fully showing all my joy, fully showing, expressing and responding to things without feeling restrained. Like if I hear someone playing something beautiful, instead of being like sort of, really just openly expressing my joy at what I'm hearing and the pleasure that it creates in me and being expressive around the pleasure, has been life-changing and has been permission giving to others, So in some ways, actually, letting go of the resistance that I have towards this special thing and allowing myself to just fucking own it sometimes, and just be like, right, okay, I'm doing the special thing again, but I'm just going to do it and I'm going to love it. I'm going to love myself for doing it, or I'm going to allow myself. Sometimes it's probably really not serving me, and maybe the approach in that case is to notice it and not to chastise, and notice the resistance to it and let go of the resistance and just allow that to come and go, just like we talked about in previous videos. But other times it's like, no, actually I can be of service here, because being human is really complex. It's really complex. And there's so many different dynamics going on, so many different parts of us all like having the conversation. And if I can allow space for that part of me that does want to be a bit special, then in a funny way, it dismantles it, because it allows everyone to be special. It gives permission for everyone to step in. As long as I'm not like taking all the limelight, I guess. In my experience, certainly in the musical realm, I run these music jams. When I step in and I unashamedly and joyfully shine and just play what's on my heart and play from the heart, it doesn't take away the limelight from anyone else. It tends to just create more light for other people to do the same. As long as I'm not dominating anyone else, or like, it's magic, actually. It's magic. So it's such an interesting balance, isn't it? Like, and that's the skill of life in some ways, is understanding when to do certain things, finding balance. I guess that's the overarching thing there, which is, when is this dynamic of specialness really not serving me, and when do I need to pay attention to it? And again, I don't think I ever need to try and get rid of it. I don't think that ever helps. I've spent many, many years with the shoulds. I should do this. I should do that. I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do that. Therefore, I should get rid of it. Therefore, I should fix. Therefore, I should change. That doesn't work. That never works. In fact, that fuels the flames. That's what keeps it around. I shouldn't do this. It keeps us thinking about it. It keeps us obsessing over it. And the mind can't fix a problem that the mind created. All we have to do is let go, you know? So I don't think I ever should be resisting this dynamic personally. It's just bringing awareness to it, noticing it when it comes up, and then having a really loving conversation with myself and the different parts within me. You know, maybe there's this child that's really scared. Ultimately, when it comes up, it's fear. I'm scared underneath it all. I don't actually want to be better than other people. That's another thing about the special dynamic. It's very alienating. Imagine being the special one. You're then putting yourself in a category that is above everyone else. And actually, all I want underneath it all, what I truly want, is to belong, to be accepted, to be loved, to be part of a community. You know, it's really alienating, feeling like I have to be the special one in order to be lovable. Really, I just want to be like everyone else. I just, underneath it all, want to be accepted and loved and to belong. Such a deep desire. So it's fear. Again, just another form of fear. You know, talking about it in previous video. I feel like there's kind of only ever two states of being, fear and love. Which are we going to choose? Love is allowing, fear is resisting. So we can, and once I understand that underneath it is fear, right? Underneath this special dynamic is not trying to dominate. It's not purposely, there's not an evil intention or a bad intention underneath it all. There is ultimately fear of not being loved, not being accepted, not being enough. And with that knowledge, I can then bring compassion towards myself and to allow space for that inner child, that little George who's just fucking terrified and is just crying out. You know, he's panicking a lot of the time and he's really deflated because he's like, when that bubble bursts, that special bubble bursts, it's like, I'm not lovable. He's just really scared. He just wants to belong and doesn't think he can get it if he's not special, if he's not doing something special. So maybe that inner George, that little George, he's going to be around for this journey of this YouTube channel. I'm sure he will. And my job is to just look after him and hold him through that and say that I know it's scary, but we're going to carry on regardless. And that's the same with full joy as well. I feel like this is part of my purpose here. Like I found something that is so fulfilling and so aligned with, it's my mission. It's part of my mission. This is part of my mission. And full joy, sharing music and helping others to express themselves is my dharma. It's why I'm here. So although I'm taking a break at the moment, and that's challenging with full joy, with the music events, that brings up a lot for me, you know, lots of fears, doubts, and I'm trying, but whilst I'm taking a break, it does feel like the right thing to do, and I'm trying to be wise and slow. What's the rush? There is no need to rush. Trying to take things slow and allow things to unfold in their own time, like a very Taoist approach of imagining that other things have their own nature, and forcing things is, my body has its own nature, my spirit has its own nature, and forcing things to be different because of fear and control usually doesn't result in the best outcomes. So yeah, just taking it slow allowing things to unfold in their natural time, but at the same time not denying a desires. That's something I've done for a long time, and again there's a video there. Not denying, not just falling into comfort. Like I've talked about previously with my job, underneath it all there is a desire to be in a different job, and that's not, I get caught in that thing of imagining desire as this awful thing, and in terms of like that Buddhist principle of desire is the root of suffering, basically, and I do believe that to be true, but at the same time I think only at the point of enlightenment can you really live without desire. And for the meantime, I've got these sacred needs, I've got these sacred desires, and it's my job to help this human to fulfill them if he needs to, and just go through that process of learning what he needs to learn. And yeah, life has been a lot more peaceful when I've been really honest with myself about my desires and gone after them, said, no, these are important, and these matter, my needs matter, my desires matter, and I'm gonna go after them with awareness. So yeah, as always, thank you so much for being with me for these chats, and if you're still here watching, I'm really grateful. Oh, someone's come to join me. Hello, Mia. Hey, baby girl. It's amazing me. Well, it's amazed me on the first video, I should say, but if you're listening to these words, that means that you've probably got to the end of this video. So thank you for watching the whole thing. I really do mean that. Like, I'm very, I'm really grateful. And yeah, thanks for sticking around. And I really hope to see you in the next video. If you do feel like this resonated with you in your experience, then yeah, please do subscribe, hit the bell, like, comment, share, all of those things. And yeah, let's try and amplify the love. That would be amazing. That'd be amazing for me. I would love that. But also, I really hope this can help people. And the more we can grow this channel, the more we can help people. So yeah, as always, sending you so much love, whatever is going on in your very human, complex journey in this life. I hope you're learning and growing. Hope you're finding peace. And as always, happy humaning. Oh, you've got a right little spot there, haven't you? Snug down in the sofa. Look at that. I'll show you. She's got that in if you don't know if you can see. Here's little Mia. She's got a right little divot. What's the right word? Like a dip in the sofa that she fits perfectly into. Alright guys, see you in the next video. Oh, I thought I'd show you Mia. She's such a cute little baby. Hello. Hello, sweetie. Oh, hello. Oh, good girl. She's the garden. There you go. That's what the garden looks like.